But there's definitely lack of maturity in all your past partners. So they would always be emotionally unavailable, emotionally immature. It's very possible that this is how you associate masculinity. It's the distortion. Again, watch the previous part and go to that part of my website that I told you that explains about divine masculine, distorted masculine. Because today's world, they convince us, they even convince men about that. The true man is this distorted, toxic masculinity. It's disconnected from emotions because this is strength. It's bollocks. It's nonsense. It's not true. True divine men are very much connected to their hearts. Why? Because of what I already told you and explained. Because men receive for their hearts. If a man is disconnected from his heart, no matter how many women he has and he conquers, he will never feel love because he receives through the heart. When the heart is locked, and the heart is the bridge with the spirit realm, the heart is the emotion. If a man disconnects his heart, he will never feel loved. He will never feel fulfilled in a relationship. You can have all the women in this world. You will never feel, it's going to be that physical validation, but you will never feel love. In order to feel love, you have to open your hearts to receive that love. What did we just say? So how do you want to have reciprocity if that flow that I just explained to you in the previous part, whatever love you would give to these men, they would never receive it because their hearts are locked. They're emotionally unavailable. And I'm hearing as well with that Nine of Swords, that they would actually feed this anxiety within you. Because of their wounding, again, watch the whole thing from the beginning. I don't want to explain every single thing, right? So it's not about pointing fingers towards them, but if someone is insecure, if someone has a locked heart, is stuck on that very physical level, right? They don't know how to receive that love, but they want it, right? So it's like you want to pull it in, but you don't really absorb it. It's like a sponge that doesn't have the capacity to absorb, right? Because it's locked, because it doesn't have a structure of a sponge. Okay, so if you want to absorb water, if you are a sponge, you put yourself in that water, you will absorb it. But if you're a stone, you're not going to absorb it. Or like a piece of metal or whatever is something that actually doesn't absorb. You know what I mean? It would make sense, right? But you want it. If you want it inside of you, you're going to want to attract it. But you're only going to be attracting surface level because you cannot absorb that water within you because your heart is locked, because you're not a sponge, right? So you constantly be going to wanting it, but it's going to be staying on the surface level of you. It's not going to penetrate you because you're locked. So someone who wants love, men who want love, but they have locked hearts, they feed that void with shallow attention and attraction. So then many women want me, many women like the validation, shallow validation. And oftentimes with their partners, these men undermine a security of that women. So we keep giving more and more and more because they want it. They just don't know how to integrate it. Does it make sense? So again, I wouldn't be surprised if all your relationships, zero reciprocity, zero emotional availability, very locked heart, very cold heart, and even those mind games. I'm literally like blocking right now. I feel like maybe you feel that way as you're hearing these words. It's like in between my throat and my lungs, there's like this, it's like you're going underwater and you cannot breathe. That kind of a sensation, like this pressure. The mind games to make you feel less than you already are. You're giving, and they always make you feel that it's not enough because they cannot integrate it. But it's not your fault. But it is in a sense, because if you truly were, what did we say in previous part? In your divine, feminine, unconditional love, you would just walk away. But you have a void within yourself too, to give. But in the end, it was all destined. And you know it, this collective at this point. Again, watch from the beginning. We're doing your soul contracts right now. Let's do another road. Let's do another another row. Row your boat. Just came to my mind. Maybe you know this song. Three of Pentacles. I'm gonna start crying, you guys. Yeah. Oh. Ten of Wands. We have that again. It's your burden. I'm looking, do I have, because I want to read through this to you, because it's actually beautiful. In this deck, there's a different meaning of Four of Pentacles, but I want to first say to you what I'm hearing. And we have Ace of Swords. Okay. The Devil. Your shadows. Okay. Again, we're reviewing your soul contract, all your relationships. What's the pattern that you cannot break? I feel all you want, this collective, all you want, that's why I almost started crying, all you want is to have that ride or die partner. That best friend, okay? That would see you for who you are, you would see them for who they are, and you would be in this together. Together. You would have that flow, that reciprocity would flow. You would be that team, that dream team. Right? Conquer worlds together. But no matter how much you give, if someone doesn't have the capacity to receive that, you will not have a relationship. And despite the fact that all these men were very locked, very close, they would not accept what you were giving because they couldn't, again, that sponge thing, they couldn't integrate that. You would hold on to these relationships. You would never want to let go because you have that in your mind. And I'm hearing that maybe, remember what we said about your father in previous parts or in the beginning of this part? I can't remember. That for some of you, it might have been the case that your father was actually an okay father, but a horrible partner, a cheater, or someone who was very chauvinistic, misogynistic, yet your mother would hold on. Maybe this is the model of love that you were taught because your mother wasn't a divine feminine with self-love and with those boundaries that I've explained. So you would think that that's what you have to do as a woman. Give, even if you don't even receive breadcrumbs. Just give. Because that's what we should do. That's what we should do. True divine feminine, all we do is give. But when we are not receiving anything back, we just move to another room. Because ultimately, true divine feminine understands the value of what she's giving. So she wants to whatever is it that she's giving to be accepted, to be absorbed into that sponge. Because if not, it makes no sense. And I say this to you guys, even me with you guys on session. If someone comes to me on session is a regular, right? Most of you beautiful souls, you grow every time, whether you come once a month or every 2 months or 3 months, there's different journeys, different people, right? I see you grow. But when I see someone that comes to me every month, every 2 months, and it's a second session, third session, fourth session, there's zero change, I stop receiving this person on sessions. Because why? There's no point. All the healing energy that I give to you, all the love, all the messages, there's no point. It's a waste of my time, your money. Why? True divine feminine understands that. The value of what we have to offer. And there are people in this world who want to receive. So true divine feminine wants to find these people to actually make value of her gifts. And not like just through the wall, you know? It's never going to penetrate. So you're holding on with no reason. But I'm guided to read through the description because in this specific deck, this card is actually about holding on to yourself. Holding on to yourself. Okay? It's really beautiful in this deck. Okay. Traditionally, the Four of Pentacles doesn't get a very positive interpretation. The illustrated figure keeps all her treasure to herself. It may seem like a card relate to selfishness. Contemporary society teaches us that we must share, give, and make ourselves available at all times. There it is. Yet, we know well that having no boundaries, keeping nothing for ourselves, restricts one from being able to give. That's exactly it. I'm going to read this statement to you again. Contemporary society teaches us, women especially, patriarchy, that we must share, give, and make ourselves available at all times. Yet, we know well that having no boundaries, keeping nothing for oneself, restricts one from being able to give. What if generosity comes from self-care? The Four of Pentacles indicates how valuable it is to set aside some resources exclusively for oneself, physical or intangible. It's also important to have a space where we can recharge, where we can take care of ourselves and our assets so that they can flourish and bear fruits to become conscious gifts. And I always say this to you guys, you have to put the mask, the oxygen mask, on yourself first, because you will save no one. Maybe you are meant, remember we had unconditional love and tap into your purpose in the previous part. Maybe your purpose is to really step into that divine feminine power that will give to people, right? Us healers, when we talk about people like even like myself, we have this willingness to give, to share love, to spread the love, but we cannot make ourselves constantly available without caring for ourselves, because you guys, you would be surprised who gravitates towards healers. Let's face it, okay? I love you all so much, but who gravitates towards healers? People who need healing, which means people who are wounded. And when we're wounded, we usually sit in a place of our ego, right? So we usually, it's like some people, they have this mentality that they struggle with taking, only taking, but in the same time, all they end up doing is taking, because they don't know how to give or properly receive. That flow is wounded, right? So the role of a healer, the role of a true divine feminine, divine masculine, someone who is in their divinity, is to make sure that that flow is flowing. It's not about just giving and giving and giving and giving because I give and I have so much to give. When it is not properly received, I move myself to another room. And that's the theme of all your soul contracts. That's what you need to understand. That's what you need to learn. That's what you need to close. This is the burden that you need to release. You are not here for entertainment of others. You have so much to give, yes, but it is your responsibility to love yourself so much, so deep, to completely release this anxiety and have the capacity to find rooms and forums and people and recipients of those beautiful gifts of yours where they will be absorbed. Find sponges, not rocks. Okay, no one ever said ever, but that's what I'm channeling today. It's one of those readings that I'm going to be editing this. I'm going to be learning from myself because I have no idea what I'm saying right now. It's the clear channel from spirit. Some people just don't have the capacity to receive, and that's where we need to let them go. Sometimes we let them go forever. Sometimes we let them go for a journey of healing, when they turn themselves, the rock of their heart, into a sponge. No woman can ever save a man. Maybe if you're a healer, but when we talk about, romantical relationships, men have to heal on their own, just like women do. The healing is a journey of solitude. It's for a good reason. There's a part of healing we can do through relationships, and we can do together, even with our soul ties. But there's part of it where we have to take accountability. But all these relationships were destined. They were destined to open your mind. To change your mindset, to see things that you haven't seen before, to learn. This is where the tables really turn for you. Now you're going to be learning, because in the past, maybe you were that person that you would blame your exes. Again, watch the whole reading. It's time for you to really point that finger towards yourself. Change that mindset. What did I do to attract that? What did I do to hold on to that? What am I not seeing? What am I not understanding? This is it. This is your spread. Stay with these two cards because I was really looking at them and they're really beautiful. This one, remember, is about reciprocity. And everything that we explained about that unconditional love and reciprocity, the difference, the definition, you now know. And these are all those men that are not available. They're rocks, they're not sponges. No matter what you give, it won't matter. But there's so many women who have to understand that if you have this need to give and rescue someone, it is your own wound. True divine feminine, healed, centered, understands, okay, this is a rock. I'm going to find myself a sponge. Because you know what happens with that sponge? When that sponge is filled in with your love, because it receives, when it's overflowing, you give it a little squeeze and it gives it back to you. That's the flow. That's the flow of love. That's the flow of life. And that's what you need to learn. Men who are emotionally available, who have open hearts, they're beautiful. They're not masculine. This is true masculinity. We live in a distorted, horrible world who programs us to believe nonsense. True divine men, take it from someone who works with these people, who knows, who is a healer. They love like no other. They love like no other. When they know how to receive our unconditional love through their hearts, they love like no other. There is no love like divine masculine love on this, because our love, feminine love, divine feminine love, our love goes through realms. It's timeless, right? Because we lead in 5D. Because we sit on a portal to the spirit realm. So our love always flows through source, through the universe, through God, however you want to call it. Is always from that different realm kind of a love. That's why we teach unconditional love. But men, because they operate, masculine energy operates in the physical plane, the expression of their romantical love, when they're healed, when they are in their divinity, when their hearts are open, unmatched. Because our role is to give purpose to the masculine, is to show him the way through spirit, connect him through spirit. We're the temple to be worshipped as a link to God. Whereas men, their role is to operate on this physical world, in this physical level. So it's the divine triangle that I teach you about on my website. In the divine love section, you can teach about that. That's why they look with devotion towards us, and we always filter that love through God. What we give to them is filtered through spirit. What they give to us is pure love. That's true masculinity. All right, you guys, thank you, Spirit, for these beautiful messages. I love those kind of readings. I hope it was helpful. I hope this is what you needed to set you on the right trajectory to your highest, most aligned timeline. And yeah, take that message. Take action, start healing, take consistent, dedicated action. It's going to be a hard journey. No one said it would be easy, but it's going to be very, very, very rewarding.